It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Though, sir,
America
there
first,
are
baby.
Republicans and Democrats up on the Hill concerned that in the briefings they've gotten about those attacks, they're not necessarily getting information about who was on them and what exactly was on those ships. Can you ensure that at
but
least
they are
lawmakers
given
will be told that?
information that they were loaded up with drugs, and that's the thing that matters. When they're loaded up with drugs, they're fair game. And every one of those ships were, and they're not ships, they're boats, they're speedboats. They're extremely fast, record-setting type speedboats. They cost a lot of money, and they have a lot of money because they're drug sellers. But they know one thing, and they all have the same thing in common. There's drug dust. They call it drug dust. They call it fentanyl dust all over the boat after those bombs go off, and you can take along.
Attack them, though, that there are
We know before. We know when they go out. We know we have much information about each boat that goes out. Please.
On the ships, though, sir, there are Republicans.
In America's biggest U.S. deployment in the Caribbean since the 1980s, President Trump sending in night stalkers, striking Venezuelan cartel boats in a warning to Venezuela's president. And thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Brooke Schaefer in for Kelly Beeson today. Our top story right now, survivors of the latest strike against an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean, taken into custody by U.S. officials, are now set to be released back to their home countries. News Nation's Hannah Brandt joins us live from the White House with the latest on this news and what the president is saying this afternoon. Hannah?
Yeah, Brooke, you're right. That's the new information we're learning today about President Trump's plans in this ongoing campaign of U.S. military strikes on boats in the Caribbean that are allegedly carrying drugs. Those two people who survived the most recent strike are now apparently facing prosecution in their home countries. That's according to the president. Now, let's take a look at the video. This is it. This is the latest strike that President Trump.
There's been these strikes all over, and it's been going on for apparently weeks now, and it's looking to cause a lot of it's about to cause a war, and it makes me think about the Venezuelan gangs here in the cartel that they went after in Chicago. It's like there's connections there. We just haven't put all the dots together. So I can guarantee, because that's what Trump was saying. He was like, they're drug cartels, gangs, they're linked to the cartels. So those gangs in Chicago apparently could be linked to these ships. But we ain't saying that's what it is. I'm just saying it just make a little sense, you know, if you just put it together. They saying that those wasn't even drug boats. They saying that those was actual just like ship fishermen. And that's why Venezuela is really wanting to start a war with the United States, and which very well could happen because they loading up.
Let's take a look at the video. This is it. This is the latest strike that President Trump just shared this morning. The strike happened earlier this week, but you can see on your screens how it played out. It's believed to be the sixth strike on apparent drug vessels since September. But this time around was a bit different because two of the people on this submarine apparently survived and the U.S. Navy took them into custody. Then this afternoon, President Trump announced those two survivors will be sent back to their home countries. He writes in a post, quote, the two surviving terrorists are being returned to their countries of origin, Ecuador and Colombia, for detention and prosecution. Also adding in that post, quote, under my watch, the United States of America will not tolerate narco-terrorist trafficking, illegal drugs by land or by sea. President Trump defending these operations, calling them part of a legitimate war on narco-terrorists and Venezuelan drug.
Bruh, how they survived that? That's crazy. They must be, they have to have like burns over 98% of their body.
Networks. But in total, these strikes have killed at least 28 people, and that's drawing concerns and questions both from U.S. lawmakers and from the international community, with many specifically asking whether these attacks are legal. Take a listen to what President Trump said about this most recent strike.
We attacked a submarine, and that was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs. Just so you understand, this was not an innocent group of people.
President Trump also confirming he has authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations inside of Venezuela, also saying he's weighing carrying out land operations on the country. This has escalated tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela, with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro accusing the CIA of conspiring against.
Nicolas Maduro is accused of being a dirty president. Like he's basically leading the cartel, and they're saying there's a lot of corruption in their government.
Against him. He has mobilized troops and civilian militia along that northern coast. Meanwhile, Pentagon sources confirm Night Stalker helicopter units and a Marine task force from Camp Lejeune are now leading these U.S. operations. And we know there has been a substantial buildup of the U.S. military presence in the Caribbean in recent months. 3 B-52 bombers were spotted on flight trackers hovering in Venezuelan airspace. And there are around 10,000 U.S. troops now in the region, most of them stationed at Puerto Rican bases, Brooke.
All right, Hannah Brandt outside the White House following the latest developments there. Hannah, thanks so much.
Whatever's happened over there in Venezuela and between the cartels and them trying to get their drugs to America, and I think they're gonna be pretty much all the illegals. If you or any Venezuelan, they after y'all. Actually, this guy I used to work for, his wife is from Venezuela. Interesting fun fact. And I think her pops is in the cartel because I've heard stories about him.
Suspected drug smugglers in U.S. Navy custody, and he released video of the strike.
Today, President Trump posted video of a U.S. military strike on a submersible suspected of smuggling drugs.
Just so you understand, this was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines. And that was an attack on a drug-carrying, loaded-up submarine.
It's the 6th known strike in international waters since last month on alleged Venezuelan drug vessels by the U.S. military. 2 people were killed in a strike on Thursday, and 2 survivors were brought to a Navy ship. The president now says the U.S. will send the 2 men back to their home countries of Ecuador and Colombia for detention and prosecution, eliminating a diplomatic and legal dilemma over their fate.
The president revealed what's happening.
After the newest strike on a boat off Venezuela, we've now learned this evening there are 3 American B-52 bombers now flying near the Venezuelan coast. And President Trump tonight authorizing covert CIA missions inside Venezuela now. So Martha Raddatz with late reporting tonight. What's behind this?
Tonight, the U.S. military launching a new attack on a boat off of Venezuela. A U.S. official telling ABC this time there were survivors. This as we're learning of a massive show of military force off Venezuela's coast. ABC confirming 3 nuclear-capable B-52 heavy bombers flew for hours in the Caribbean waters less than 90 miles from Venezuela. The move comes in the midst of a major U.S. military buildup in the region of some 10,000 U.S. troops, including special operations helicopters, the kind used by Navy SEALs and Delta Force, now conducting exercises in the Caribbean. This most recent boat strike is at least the 6th on what the administration claims are vessels operated by drug cartels, with President Trump now authorizing CIA missions in Venezuela and threatening ground strikes as well.
We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela, and a lot of the Venezuelan drugs come in through the sea, so you get to see that. But we're going to stop them by land also.
Trump blames Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro for drugs coming into the U.S. and is trying to pressure him to step down. The administration offering $50 million for.
Well, imagine that. He's giving Argentina, which is, where the hell is Argentina? Argentina's way down there. Argentina's way south. You know why he giving Argentina money? Because they not bringing no drugs over here. So if he get Venezuela out the way, then maybe Argentina has a, maybe they could get their ships up in here. Hey, the government did it once, they'll do it again, okay? They just don't like Venezuela or Colombia. So yeah, because Venezuela's right there, yep, north of the northern South American coastline, and yeah, they about to start a war. So what do y'all think about going to war with Venezuela? It's not very big of a country, but I think we could do it. You know what I'm saying? It looked like it's about to happen. It looked like it's about to happen. What do you think about a war in Venezuela? Look, if Trump starts a war, he becomes etched in history forever. If he starts a war, that's how you get in history books. Start a war. Y'all didn't know that? I'm telling you. Listen. Hey,
information leading
America
to his
first,
arrest
baby.
and conviction on drug charges. And tonight, David, we're learning that Admiral Alvin Halsey, who is overseeing these operations, is stepping down. He has been on the job for less than a year. He is one of numerous senior officers who have resigned or been kicked out by Secretary Pete Hegseth since President Trump took office. David?
Martha Raddatz on this.
Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting because the guy who authorized the drone strikes resigns. Do you hear me? He resigned. Why would a high-ranking naval officer resign? Makes you think what is this really about, and we're gonna get into that in just a minute, because it gets serious.